end of the day, the LCS is back, baby. Let's go. It's a... Let me turn this down slightly. The plan for this evening, I am currently making food. I'm actually going to angle the camera over towards the kitchen here in a second. But we are literally just turning the fuck up and waiting. Like, I saw Travis' stream is very chill and other people are just going to be relaxing. Nah, we're excited. And I can't wait. I cannot wait to see who gave up what. I cannot wait. Alright, let's read what the LCS says first. And then we'll go with the LCS PA. So the LCS says, following a 2-week delay, the LCS will move forward with the reformatted summer split regular season that will take place over 6 weeks, based on what is financially scalable and sustainable for the ecosystem. Okay. A new NACL business model, in addition to the previously committed $300,000 that shares revenue between the tournament operator, participating teams that drive long-term. Okay. We'll need more information on that, because what is that tournament format? Like, I have no clue what that means. It's very vague. Improvements to the NACO governance model, including a team participation agreement and vetting process for participation. LCS players. Okay, that's good. That's a good protection to add in. That really doesn't cost them much of anything, and severance, like, that's on the teams. Creation of a working group between the LCS teams and the LCS PA to better optimize scrim schedule. Okay, that's irrelevant. Reinforce of healthcare. Cool, they get healthcare. Refinement of working procedures. First around the improvements of the condition. So nothing. Absolutely fucking nothing based on this. Let me see the LCS PA. $300,000 for the remainder of the 2023 season to be split amongst the teams. That's already been no. So that is not a point of negotiation, or let me turn that on. That is not like a valid point to be taken. That was already done. 50% of all future NACL sponsorship revenue will now be shared by the NACL teams. I'm pretty sure they already said that was going to be happening in the previous model. Like, the rev share thing has been a thing. So like that I don't know what to say. Players and teams will share equal representation on a committee to determine the future changes of practice schedule. And okay, that point is hilarious to include, because sure, but like I don't know why Riot had to get involved with that portion of it. Teams will take action to ensure all foreign players have mandated healthcare available to them by the first day they're in the US. The fact that that wasn't a thing is kind of surprising, but that's a good, like, that's a win. Our memorandums of understanding legally binding. Does not contain legally enforceable promises. So it means nothing. It means nothing. They basically just agreed in the boardroom that we're gonna talk to each other. But Riot can still say, fuck you, I'm gonna do it. Yeah, in the Riot statement, it's much softer. Like, the thing is, like, you read the two, and it's the same points worded differently, but ultimately it comes down to this. We don't know what the new NACL business model is going to look like. So that we have no clue on yet. That's going to come likely next year. So it's like, I don't know what to say here. The only thing that's good here is like the minimum 30-day notice and severance requirement for players up to 1.5 times the league minimum salary, and minimum 2 weeks termination notice for non-resident players. Sure, like that is good, and I will agree to that. But in terms of like actual, like, as they were saying, like, ecosystem meaningful change, like, basically you're replacing a few bad boards and that's it. You're not overhauling anything, which is hilarious. Like, Riot won this so heavily, it's not even funny. So if what I want to address real quick is the teams. The teams walked out of this scotch-free, more or less. Like, what did any of these promises or guarantees like do to negatively hurt teams or change the path that we're on of what teams were deciding, like, and basically like going around players or changing the dynamic that is teams and Riot ultimately carry the power. Nothing at all. They got a memorandum of understanding that they'll be given notice. That's not legally enforceable. You gotta look at this. Are the concessions that Riot gave actually concessions, or are they just natural things that were probably gonna come anyways that they just sped up on the timeline? These sound like things that they were probably gonna do in the offseason. And the healthcare guarantees is not on Riot. The severance notice is not on Riot. Like, they just pass that to teams, and for teams, that cost is relatively minimal. But like, there's no minimum spend from teams. That 300K salary that they were asking for, that never per team, that never happened. Not even close. Promotion relegation obviously didn't happen. Like, no workload. We don't know what the structural changes are going to be, but clearly, like, there's nothing like within the LCS and like that sphere that is even close to worth it. The LCSPA and Phil can walk out of this being like, we got healthcare and termination requirements or like severance requirements. Woo. The entire ecosystem changed overnight. You said you were going to protect it or take it back to what it was and then force teams to have a better ecosystem. There is nothing in this at all that changes the ecosystem, that changes the amount of players that are going to go up, that changes the viability of Academy. Like, do you think, like, is there any concession that you think that the LCS PA can like really like ring their head on, like, yeah, we won this battle?
Since they advocate for the players, the healthcare and the other thing are definitely, like, I mean, no, it's not really the LCSPA that did that, but it's still, I don't know, quality of life improvement.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the LCS should be in fucking Chicago.
Agreed.
Make those players, you know, live on the ugly side of Chicago. Toughen up real quick.
I don't know if the ugly side of Chicago is necessary,
but like 50 or 60K goes miles longer there.
Oh, it definitely does.
Like,
you could guarantee that low of a salary, not low, but you could guarantee.
Like, when people are like 60K is not enough, if you remove LA from that, I'm laughing my ass off if you tell me 60K is not enough to live on. Like, I'm laughing in your face if you tell me that, irrespective of where you live. Like, let's just say you take the average cost of living place. I understand that it's LA, right? But if it wasn't, if it was literally 90% of other places, like I live in New Jersey, you live in New York City, it ain't cheap here either, but you can make it on 60K. I don't know. Like, that's the problem. The problem is more not that, like, they shouldn't be able to, it's more like they are stuck in LA. So it does have to be higher. But they shouldn't be stuck in LA. Like, the LCS shouldn't be in LA. Like, yeah, they have events like once a year, and they have, what, a studio with like 90 people can fit in the studio. Like they should be doing this out of a low-cost location to lower their costs significantly. Like, they're, especially for something that's like, for something that loses them money, moving it somewhere else where they can make money and not have such high overhead it just makes sense. But they haven't done that. Like, I don't know why. I mean, I understand that, like, you'd have to rehire new people halfway across the country and stuff. So they may just be like too entrenched or whatnot. But
yeah, I agree. Like, I guess ultimately from the perspective of what could they have gotten out of this coming in, I would say this is a positive for them. In the grand scheme of things, I don't think it's like, it's just like, you got some minor concessions. But like, all the major things that are like dragging NA down as a region that people still have massive problems with, none of that's changed at all. So like, in terms of like guaranteeing things for the better future of North American players, can't say that I feel like they did something effective there.